when Satan is cast out. This dragon will then wage war against all those who oppose his kingdom on earth. This will be the cleansing cycle, ridding the earth of all evildoers that many are waiting for. The great distress will then begin against those who keep the commandments and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. There will be a great time of betrayal as family members hand over their loved ones to death, because Yahuwah will be full of jealousy for his people. The rest of the vials, plagues and trumpets will go forth. Those who have the seal of the living Elohim will not be harmed. The Messiah, Yahushua, warned that he would come at an hour when you think not. How can this be, since we have been given the signs of his coming? Sadly, for those who do not stay awake, he will come to them at an hour they thought not. They will have fallen asleep. You see, they will not be looking for his return because, to them, he is already here. They will have fallen for the strong delusion. The true Messiah and all those who patiently wait for the bridegroom will know he returns at the seventh trumpet, the seventh bowl and the seventh seal. And the seventh messenger poured out his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came out of the dwelling place of the heaven, from the throne, saying, "It is done." And the seventh messenger sounded, and there came to be loud voices in the heaven, saying, "The reign of this world has become the reign of our Master, and of his Messiah, and he shall reign forever and ever." But in the days of the sounding of the seventh messenger, when he is about to sound, the secret of Elohim shall also be ended, as he declared to his servants the prophets. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven, about the space of half an hour. Why would there be silence? Because the true Messiah, along with his great army, have left the Kodesh dwelling place. And immediately after the distress, notice the word after. And immediately after the distress of those days the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give its light, and the stars shall fall from the heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken, and then the sign of the Son of Adam shall appear in the heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn, and they shall see the Son of Adam coming on the clouds of the heaven with power, and much esteem. And he shall send his messengers with a great sound of a trumpet, the seventh and last trumpet. And they shall gather together his chosen ones from the four winds. This is the true regathering, from one end of the heavens to the other. Hasten, and come, all you Gentiles, that is all the nations other than Israel, and gather together all around. O Yahuwah, let your mighty men come down here. Let the Gentiles, that is all the nations other than Israel, be aroused, and come up to the valley of Yosaphat. For there I shall sit to judge all the Gentiles, again, that is all the nations, other than Israel, on every side. Put in the sickle, for the harvest has grown ripe. Come, go down, for the winepress is filled, the vats overflow, for their evil is great. Crowds, crowds in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahuwah is near in the valley of decision. Sun and moon shall become dark, and stars shall withdraw their brightness. Notice the sun and moon become dark compared to Joel 2:31 and Acts 2:20 that says the moon shall become blood before the great day of Yahuwah. The reason why the sun and moon became dark is because this will be the time of the final end of this earth age compared to the signs to come, before the great and terrible day of Yahuwah. But the day of Yahuwah shall come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with intense heat, and the earth and the works that are in it shall be burned up. Seeing all these are to be destroyed in this way, what kind of people ought you to be in set-apart behavior and reverence? Looking for and hastening the coming of the day of Elohim, through which the heavens shall be destroyed, being set on fire, and the elements melt with intense heat. Therefore wait for me, declares Yahuwah, until the day I rise up for plunder. For my judgment is to gather nations, to assemble reigns, to pour out on them my rage, all my burning wrath. For by the fire of my jealousy all the earth shall be consumed. For then I shall turn unto the peoples a clean lip, so that they all call on the name of Yahuwah, to serve him with one shoulder. After the 1,000-year millennium, when Satan is released, he will deceive the nations one last time to come against Israel. This will be the day of Yahuwah and the real and final Armageddon. The following are verses that describe the day of Yahuwah. You make them as a furnace of fire in the time of your presence. Yahuwah does swallow them up in his wrath, and fire does consume them. And a fire burned in their company, a flame consumed the wrong. You shall be visited by Yahuwah of hosts with thunder and earthquake and great noise, with whirlwind and storm, and flame of devouring fire. For look, Yahuwah comes with fire and with his chariots, like a whirlwind to render his displeasure with burning, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword shall judge all flesh, and the slain of Yahuwah shall be many. As they gather silver, and bronze, and iron, and lead, and tin into the midst of a furnace, to blow fire on it, to melt it, so I gather you in my displeasure and in my wrath. And I shall blow and melt you, and I shall gather you and blow on you with the fire of my wrath, and you shall be melted in its midst. As silver is melted in the midst of a furnace, so are you melted in its midst. And you shall know that I, Yahuwah, have poured out my wrath on you. But the day of Yahuwah shall come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with great noise and the elements shall melt with intense heat, and the earth and the works that are in it shall be burned up. Their flesh shall decay while they stand on their feet, and their eyes decay in their sockets, and their tongues decay in their mouths. Because of Yahuwah's great wrath the earth will have to be made anew. And I saw a renewed heaven and a renewed earth, for the former heaven and the former earth had passed away, and the sea is no more. And I, Yohanan, saw the set-apart city, renewed Jerusalem, coming down out of the heaven from Elohim, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the heavens saying, See, the booth, tabernacle, of Elohim is with men, and he shall dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Elohim himself shall be with them and be their Elohim. And I saw a renewed heaven and a renewed earth, for the former heaven and the former earth had passed away, and the sea is no more. And finally, we will dwell with him. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, I shall be jealous for Zion with great jealousy, with great wrath I shall be jealous for her. Thus said Yahuwah, I shall return to Zion, and I shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called, City of the Truth. And the mountain of Yahuwah of hosts, the set-apart mountain. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, again old men and old women shall dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, each one with a staff in his hand because of great age. And the streets of the city shall be filled with boys and girls playing in its streets. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, if it is marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in my eyes? Declares Yahuwah of hosts. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, see, I am saving my people from the land of the sunrise and from the land of the sunset. And I shall bring them back, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And they shall be my people, and I shall be their Elohim, in truth and in righteousness,